Hello. Okay. A little bit of technical problems. Okay, it seems to work now. Looks like I accidentally clicked something on my microphone here and turned it off. Okay, so hello. Hello all. Long time no see. It's been more than a month that I have worked on Shakedown because of other stuff, other projects that I was involved in, but also just summer and traveling around and yeah. But yeah, it was actually quite enjoyable to do a little bit of to take some time off the game. Yeah, but also yeah, very important thing to note: the Steam page. It's still not done, but yes, apart from developing the game, I was setting up the Steam page. But yeah, surprisingly a lot of work that I didn't plan to have. By the way, does the audio work? I hope it does. I didn't turn on the chat. Um, I'm asking if the audio works because I just updated OSB. Sorry, OBS. And there are usually some technical issues whenever you update OBS. That's inevitable. Okay, so Narwhal channel here says yes. Audio sounds good. Says Elkin XVI or Elkin 16th. Hello. Let me grab my phone charger so it doesn't go off. So Steam wishlist time. Hopefully in less than a week. In less than a week, yes. Hopefully the Steam page will be set up. But yeah, since this is my first time setting up this Steam page, there was a lot of legal stuff and company stuff to go through first, and then also setting up the page. So yeah, next for my next game, it's gonna be much easier because now I know how everything works. But as this was my first time, then yeah, there was a lot more work than I thought there would be. And not really, well, you can't really say work, but more like waiting and figuring out things. But mostly waiting for responses from everybody. Okay. Anyway, let me not bore you about that. So, great. Twitch chat doesn't work. That's always great when that happens. Let me check again. Restart the app. Stream manager. All right. Well, hopefully it works. We will see. So today I'm doing something completely new, making a new car, as you have probably heard. And yeah, can you guess before we start? Before I go into the formalities, can you guess what it is? Guess away, I guess. Yeah, let me also stream ping. Elkin says yes. Well, it's close. Yeah. Narrow Channel says a late 90s 5-door sedan with a 2.0-liter turbo. I mean, yes, both correct. Both correct. More like mid 90s, but okay. So yes. OTM Shank. I don't know what does that mean. Anyway, yes. Hello, Cyberspace Sloth. And why do you say is there audio? Audio sounds good, right? Don't. Yeah, it sounds good, right? Everything is fine. Okay, let me set up these. Yeah, what was this? Stream 4. Okay, so let me begin. Should I start? Yeah. Actually, no. Let me not begin. Give me just 2 minutes to set up some things. What will I actually need? Yes, I have the PureRef. All right. So, never mind the shit posting. Okay. Yes, everything is good. All right. So, let me start. Hello, everybody. Long time no see. The stream works. Everything works. So, it's been a long time since the last time that we have met. And the last thing I did, if I go into my streams, the last thing I actually did on stream was refactoring the particle system, right? I made the particle system sorting work, if you remember, so that it renders behind the glass and in front of the glass. And that was a long time ago. That was almost, what is this? No, this is the year. Oh my God, it's upside down. Year, month, day. So this was 23rd of May, and it's been June and half of July. So yeah, a month and a half ago. And this is stream 150. And here on stream 150, what we are going to do on stream is going to start making a new car, which name is the name reveal. the new car reveal. Why is my chat not on? The new car is going to be called Tsubasa. Yes. Now you can guess what kind of where it's from. And what it could be inspired by, right? Yeah, and what kind of the name alludes to, right? Okay, yes. 150, 141. What? Oh, shit! What the hell is wrong with me? Yes, of course. 140 plus 1 is 100. Oh my God, this is this is ridiculous. Yes, this should be 100. You see, this is why I should have my chat on all the time, because people are helping me. Yeah, I make mistakes like this. You know, this is a classic programming mistake, right? You make something like this, and you're like, why doesn't my game work? And then you look into the code and you're like, am I a fucking idiot? Yes, I am. Yeah. Why did I write 150? I don't know. Maybe I was just thinking in tens. Which is very intense. Yes. So making a new car, and well, what is it? What is it inspired by? Well, I have a little bit of a board here, and yes, as you can see, primarily it's the mid-90s Impreza, the Evo. Well, and then I put the Legacy as well because I kind of really love. I really love the shape and the simplicity of it, and I'm actually thinking about making something like this. For a few days I was thinking of doing something like, something that is inspired by these two. And then also I do have to say that I'm not that much of a big fan of the later models, of the later Imprezas, because I don't know, especially the ones with the round headlights and stuff. I don't know. I do prefer the big chunky headlights on the rear and the front, and yeah, this one was from like the era when they started getting a little bit curved, right? You can see that everything is kind of soap-like. I call this like the soap design in the mid-90s, which is like everything's so smooth. You see the fenders are also very smooth, and yeah, and especially here you can see the rear of the car. But I much prefer the early 90s. These like it's kind of after the super wedgy, blocky 80s, they made slightly smoother 80s cars, basically. And I am thinking about making something like this instead of something like this, but I don't know. What does the chat say? Should I do the mid-90s or the early 90s? It is going to be of course, a four-wheel drive. Isn't it bold to make a new car before the rework? What do you mean the rework? You mean the handling rework? Well, is that what you mean? You prefer the Legacy. Cyberspace here says. Yeah, I prefer it as well. The handling rework. Well, the handling rework is going to affect everything anyway. So yeah, there isn't really also a big fan of wedges and blocks. Yes, me too. But I'm gonna. I really want to do a 90s car, and then later I'm gonna do an 80s car as well. Like the late 80s, Group N. But yeah, let's do the Legacy then. We have 2 votes, so yeah. Anyway, when it comes to the handling rework, what can I say there? Well, the handling rework, yeah, I mean, the most important thing about a new car is like the model and kind of the aesthetic parts. The handling, it's much easy. It's easy to tweak later. That's the thing. So yeah, I mean that's it. It's gonna the handling rework is completely independent from the modeling, the audio work, and stuff like that. So yeah, I will do the handling rework later, and then I'm gonna retweak everything. So well, of course, another thing that I want to talk about is that I am intending to make this stream a little bit like a tutorial on making your own car mod. So as you can see here, I have this app which is called PureRef, and I'm using this to kind of assemble when you do Control F, you full screen. You can assemble, put some pictures inside, just drag and drop pictures. I have been always using it, and it's pretty cool. And the best thing about it is that it stays on top. So whatever you do underneath, it stays on top. So later, when I'm gonna do it on the when I go to Blender, then you will see it on top of always, which is pretty cool. I just wanted to mention this because people always ask, you know, what are the apps? What are the things that you're using? Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna make a new car, and as a sort of a tutorial of car modeling, and later on we are, I don't know, when should I actually end the stream? Probably before texturing, because I'm not gonna do any texturing. I guess like let's put this as a start making a new car, and I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna say model the car using some blueprints and references. I don't know, something like that. Well, okay, here is, okay, let's actually write a little bit better. Okay, so first off, find some cool references. Find some cool references. Okay, that's, so I'm basically explaining now what I usually do when I'm modeling a new car, or well, modeling anything, right? Import some, well, place some blueprints for measurement, okay, and then model the car. Model the car, and finally, when we have the model, well, we do have to model a simple wheel as well, because a wheel is important. Model a simple wheel, export as GLTF, and then finally we are going to copy some other car and tweak in game. Copy data of some other car and tweak in game. There it is. So basically this is what I'm planning to do today. And of course this, as I say, model the car, it's not going to be a complete car, but kind of a first iteration, let's say. Okay. So, Normal Channel says, you know, you could make a Group N version 2 of this too, slightly less power and maybe slightly different bumpers. Yeah, I mean, this could be possible. 2 cars for the price of 1. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, you know. I mean, I could also make the Spec 17 car into like a, what is the name of it? A Rally 1 car and a Rally 2 car. Just use different power, and you know, take off the wing or something. Yeah, I could also have like 2 types of wings for Tsubasa as well. Okay, anyway, so this is sort of the process that we're gonna take for making the car, and let me take a moment to just take 2 minutes to talk about the timeline of Shakedown. So my most recent release was the Kenya, where I made the Kenya stage, and for the next phase of Shakedown development, this is now the Steam page setting up page, and for this one, the only thing I did is particle sorting, and I added reverb, which also includes reverb with effects, with buses, audio buses, not like buses in game that you can drive, but I mean audio buses, right? So yeah, and well, there it is. I did set a new car. Now we know what the name of it is. So I don't have to hide the new car. Yeah, so as you can see, there is plenty of other things that I want to add, but most likely I'm going to push some of these for later. Because, audio buses, I did do this, right? Because reverb was part of that. Shader effects, I can't even remember what I meant by shader effects. Did I mean some CRT effects, maybe? I can't even remember. I guess I did, because this was preparing for making the trailer. But I don't know. Should I do it? It is going to take some time. Yeah, and I definitely want to add some exhaust booms and backfires. And what is not mentioned here is I want to add some grass rendering, which is procedurally placed on tracks. But I will talk about it later. Let's just put some grass. Well, let's call it ground scatter, not grass. Okay. Which is, yeah, instead of exported from the track, I want to make it procedurally placed. And yesterday, actually, on Twitter, I asked people what was the best way to actually place distribute points on meshes, which is why I want to use it for the ground scatter. And then finally, I will make a trailer and a Steam page. Okay, so there we go. This is the current timeline. And yes, there is plenty of other stuff that I talked about before. But for this stream, I'm going to skip this and go on to making the track, making the car. Well, I'm so used to making tracks on stream that I keep saying making the tracks, which are even no longer called tracks. They're called maps now. But yeah, enough about that. So Narwhal Channel says here, I did try to make a Rally 3, but not surprisingly the Spec 17 doesn't fit the dimensions. Right. Yes, it might be too big, right? Yeah, but also the problem is that the handling, I need to do the handling refactor to have any real semblance of the power levels and everything, because, and even right now, like the Spec 17 is, it's actually a lot slower than the actual Spec 17 cars. Yeah, it goes up to like 170 kilometers per hour, which the real cars go up to like 200. So yeah, everything needs to be retweaked and rebalanced, and yeah, but you know, right now, the the handling feels good, so that is why I'm just leaving it. I'm just leaving it as is until I complete the handling refactor. Anyway, yes. So let's start with modeling. So what I have here is some double vision of a Tetro, the car. This is the Group B car, the Group B inspired car that I used in Infinland, and I did actually export it for Shakedown, but it is not actually, yeah. Well, I can't remember why I made a duplicate. Probably I have some, oh yes, I have some originals as well, but basically, yeah. The reason why I have this here is because I want to start making my new car model in this file, because here is everything actually. All the cars that I developed are here. So here you have an old version of the Spec 17, and here is the new version, which is, as you can see here, and even the wheels as well, the ice with the studs, the gravel wheel and the tarmac wheel are all here in this blend file. So the first thing I am going to do is create a new scene collection. You know what? I just remembered that I didn't even show you the game, because there might be people who are watching it for the first time. You know, I haven't streamed for a long time, so there must be people who are here for the first time. So let me. Why is my Twitter on here? Okay, let me just kill it. Yeah, let me actually show you. Let me show you the game, and I'm gonna drive some finish stage. Whoa! Of course, it's always too loud. And so there it is, Shakedown Rally. It can start in less than 3 seconds when you start it, which is one of my selling points. And it's like less than 100 megabytes, including the assets. The app itself is 2.5 megabytes, but the assets are a lot bigger. So yeah, here we go. You're just driving the car, and it's pretty fun. It's it is rally. It is a little bit of arcadey. Oh my god, there is a. Okay, I have a confession to make. I've been killing flies all day today, and there's still a few of them. There's one walking on my arm as I'm trying to make a new record. I was thinking today if there's a fly inside a cockpit, inside a rally cockpit, would they even notice it, or would they be annoyed by it? Would it affect their driving skills? So yeah. Anyway. Oh yeah, by the way, another thing that I need to say is that it's like I live in Belgrade, Serbia, right? And it's like 40 degrees every day for the past week. And it's going to be 40 degrees Celsius, of course. And yeah, I'm basically, for the next few days, I'm trying not to move away from my room, which is air conditioned. And yeah, but that means that maybe the flies like to hang out in this cold room, which is why they're all the time here. Quite annoying, but yeah, there we go. Taking the twisty turns. I know it pretty much by heart, but as you can see, I'm not too fast. Oh my god, 7 seconds slower than the record. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm not paying attention too much. And taking this corner is pretty hard. Oh, there it is. I got it pretty nicely. But it could be a lot better. Ah, no. Nope, nope, nope. This was terrible. This was awful. I did do a half a second faster segment, though. Come on. Okay, well, almost 9 seconds slower. Which is awful. Yes. So there you go. That's Shakedown Rally. That's my game, and it's soon going to be on Steam. You can wishlist it, and you can. Whoops! Accidentally got into the dev menu. You can also watch the replay. Whoa! I'm sorry about that. That's the new reverb issue. You can also just fly around and watch your car fly past from a replay. Like, let's go to this point. I really like this point because you can see it from the distance. Yeah, there you go. Or you can pretend to be like a helicopter or a drone flying next to the car. Yeah, the movements though are very choppy. Maybe I'm gonna change it to be smooth, or maybe add an option to make it more smoother, so you can pretend to be a drone pilot. But yeah, there you go. Ah, that was a terrible corner. I took it. Yeah, I could have taken it a lot better. Yeah. Woo! That was a nice jump. Anyway, yes. Now that you've seen the game, you can go. By the way, you can go to Shakedown Rally on itch and buy it. I do need to rework the page though, because it only shows Monty. I only have the Sweden stage a little bit, but no Kenya and no Finland anywhere, which are all the tracks that are available right now. And you can buy it for €7, but you can also try the demo, which only includes Monty. So yeah. Anyway, that's that's it about promoting Shakedown. Let's go back to modeling. So, Cyberspace Lots here says, "Oh yeah, I should probably introduce myself as a first-time viewer." Yes, nice to see you. Thanks for being the first-time viewer. Saw one of your posts about Shakedown on Twitter some time ago. Got intrigued, played the demo, got impressed. So now I'm here. See, nice. Thanks for being here. Also really like the pixelated visual style, but the video encoder seems to not digest it that well. Yep, I know. I know. It is really bad. Also, but the funny thing is that, for example, Twitter compression makes it look so much better because it just takes those pixels and just smudges them, and actually it kind of looks like real life, which is something that I got from other people saying, how can this be? How can it be so realistic? And it just like, no, it's actually pixelated. It just looks smudged because of compression. And that's probably what you also see with on the stream. Narwhal Channel says, I promised myself not to ask about the stage Blender file again. Yeah. I will make it. I will make it, but be patient, please. I do want to set up the Steam page and everything first. Okay, so here we have the Spec 17. Let's start modeling. Here we have the Spec 17, the new car that I'm using in the game, and you can see that you can see this messy thing. That's just the collision hull. So basically, you need some kind of a collision proxy to have your collisions. But once you remove it, there it is. Here is the car in all its glory. And I'm here just in the UV mode where you can check the glorious texture of the whole thing. And did you know that you can actually even repaint it yourself? Yes, you can. And then it will load as a different colored thing. So you can make your own livery. So, yes, as I said already, let's start making a new car. And I'm going to start by creating a new collection. And let's call this Tsubasa. There we go. Okay, and now we can hide everything else. And in this one, I'm going to make a few more collections. This is how I usually do it. I'm gonna make one that's gonna be called export. This is, well, let's call it export with capital so that I can see it from the distance. This is the actual thing that's going to contain the model that I'm gonna export. And then usually I take another one which is gonna be called helpers. And these are all the other stuff that I'm not gonna export, which are just there to help me with the dimensions and things. So chat, we have agreed that we're gonna do the legacy, right? And not this one. Yes, but you know what? Maybe I can put a nice big spoiler on the legacy and make it sort of a mid-90s. Yeah. So usually what I do as well when I start modeling is I find some blueprints so that I can, of course, I'm not trying to make identical copy. I'm just going to make something that is going to be Shakedown suitable, maybe with a little bit of changes, you know, to make it more interesting and avoid legal problems. Oh, I got choked myself on that. That means something, maybe. So, one thing is, let me look. Yes, so basically, I have everything here. This is a mess. This is a mess. Okay, I have so many things. Yes, here. I have already gotten some blueprints. And yeah, here is one of the legacy. Oops. Which is this one. and well, basically what you can do to have your, well, yeah, the first up, the most important thing is to have the correct measurements of your car, right? Have the correct measurements and set up your sort of the backgrounds that we're gonna use to model the car. And what you can do is you can usually, if you want to make the specific car, you can just Google for the blueprint of the specific model, and you will probably get something like this. Find something, right? And it's important to have the side view, the front, the rear, the top. Well, at least the side and the front is like important, so that you can hear. And another thing that we need to know are the dimensions. So here I don't have, for example, any dimensions, but I did find them here, right? We can see the length, the width, and the height, and we can use that to arrange our model. So yeah, I'm gonna use, well, this is the city car, and this is the rally car. So I'm gonna use this one, and I'm gonna just drag and drop it. Basically what you do is you simply drag and drop into Blender. And you need to be in object mode, but yeah, there it is. Oh, I actually made a mistake, I think. Yes, because when you drop it, it just shows rotated like this. Well, a better way would be to just like, okay, let me re-import it, but I will be looking in the top view. So I'm just gonna drag and drop it here, and there it is. We have it here. So this is an image file now, and we can use that as a background. But first off, if we go here into some options, we have a few things that we can play around. So one thing is, let's try to align okay, well, yes, first off, we can make it, okay, well, actually, let's play with the opacity and everything later. First off, I need to align it with the center. And the important thing is to know where the car should point. And that is, as you can see here, if I go to the new, if I show you the old car, the front is actually pointing down. So if you look into the top view, it's actually down. And this is actually the OpenGL convention of the forward is actually Y minus, which is weird, but this is how OpenGL works, and this is how I've set up everything to me for the game, and this is how you should set up as well when you're modding. So, and one thing to note as well is that X should point left. So if in doubt, X should always point left, right, onto the left side, like not onto the left side like this, but I mean going from the drivers, well, not drivers in the English system, but in the Central European system, it's the left door. That is where the X plus is. Okay, so another thing that you should note in Shakedown is that the middle of the car is actually between the two wheels. So this is what we need to do, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna position this, I'm gonna rotate. So I'm only, because this is the top-down view, right? I'm only caring about this piece, about the top view. And I'm gonna rotate it like this, minus 90. Whoops. Why is it? Okay, I can do it like this with control as well. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the middle of the picture, as you can see here, and I'm gonna move it so that the pivot, well, it's a bit hard to see, but if you go, yeah, Blender is a bit weird with this, but in the middle of the picture, there is this transform I don't know if you can actually see it. The cursor gets over this little X. And what this does is that it can help you move the picture around. And as you can see, this also happens on the side. You can resize it. And this is completely independent of the pivot, which is over here, right? But what I want to do is I want to take we can see the pivot here. It's orange. It's not exactly where the origin is. Let me just move it to the origin. Okay, but I'm gonna move it. This now unrotated, unfortunately. I'm gonna move this to be somewhere sort of in the center of the car. It is important that it is between. It is in the middle of the car in the x-axis, meaning sideways, right? It's not important yet in the forward axis, but sideways it is important. Okay, so now that we have it here, the pivot is always spinning around that. So if I spin the car, it is always going to be centered, right? And this is how I can actually point the car down, and there it is. We actually have it basically perfect. And I just noticed that there is a little bit of an issue here because this side, the car is actually flipped around on the other side compared to this side, right? The forward is over here, but the forward is over here. So the top view actually matches this one. Hopefully it matches that one. Let's see. Does it match that one? Is it exactly on the... Yeah, it is. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. This is actually a very good blueprint because some blueprints just don't care between consistency between two different sides. Yeah, they absolutely don't care about that. So, yeah, the good thing about this is since we have it centered over here, we can actually make a copy. We can actually make a copy and make sure that the next piece is going to be pointing towards the side. And I'm going to go into the front view, rotate this by 90 degrees. 90 degrees, and there we go. We have the side view. Well, but the side view we're going to move. Whoops, not that. We're going to move it down, and I prefer when the pivot is actually at the bottom of the chassis. So as you can see here, there is a little dot inside here. I don't know if you can see it on the stream, but there is a little tiny orange dot, and I like to put it on the bottom of the chassis. Okay. And as I have said, the most important thing about this is that we need to make sure that the center is exactly in between the wheels. Well, okay, we did set up this one, but I'm going to hide it for now. I'm going to hide the top view for now, and we're only going to care about the side view. And as a helper, I'm going to make a wheelbase dimension thing. Okay, and the wheelbase dimension thing is going to have the dimension of the wheelbase. So what was it? What was it again? Do we have the wheelbase? Yes, we do. 2.58 meters or 2,580 millimeters. 2.58, right? And then what we do is we're going to resize this to this little cube to 2.58. There we go. And now when I resize this car, right, I'm going to put it exactly so that the wheelbase matches the center. So this should be in the middle of the two wheels. And then that should make the measurement basically perfect. It's almost correct. It's almost correct. Okay, there is a little bit of fiddling we have to do with the position, with the offset of the, the offset of this thing. But there we go. And when I resize this slightly, there we go. It's basically in the center, right? Like maybe not the millimeter. Okay, there it is. Something like that. Something like that. Okay, am I going to make it so precise? There we go. I think this is it. I think this is it. Yeah, let's call it it. Okay, so there we go. We have the car has been perfectly positioned now. Okay, and additionally, what we can do is we can check with our, since this is the wheelbase, right? Let's compress it a bit. Since this is the wheelbase, we can also check with the other thing, which is the length, right? Since it's in the same dimension. 451. Okay, let's make another cube, and we're gonna make the dimension of it 4 point, what was it again? I already forgot. 4.51. 4.51. So that is this 4.51. There we go. Is it correct? As you can see, it doesn't match exactly the middle of the wheelbase, but that is to be expected because the car doesn't need to have the length at the same. The center of the length doesn't need to be the same as the center of the wheelbase, of course. So if we move it a bit, there we go. Oh my god, it's almost perfect. Well, there seems to be a couple of, maybe a centimeter or something leaking, but it's basically it. So we can call it correct, okay? And we can do another check if we really want with the width. Let's see, 1.705. 1.705. Is the width good? I'm going to say it is, because it does leak a bit, but that is because of the mud flaps, which are huge. I didn't even realize that the mud flaps are this big. They're double the size of the wheels. But yeah, this is basically it. We have the dimensions. Okay, and now we have these helper boxes. I'm just gonna hide them. And we have this positioned perfectly here, right? We can fiddle it slightly. Whoops, no, not that thing. This thing. Okay, let's put it exactly on the line so it's on the bottom of the chassis. Okay, and what we can do now is, yeah, let's actually apply the scale here so that it is 1. And the most important thing is, well, yeah, let's actually delete the old thing. I'm gonna put this at 0. And I'm gonna put, is this the right side? Yes, it is. Okay, nice. And I'm gonna duplicate this one. And then, well, yeah, let me duplicate this one and then put it on the ground. Put it on the ground, and I'm gonna just edit the, I'm always editing the wrong offset. Okay. I'm just gonna put it here and make sure that this is the middle. It is somewhere sort of there, right? It is sort of there. Yes, that is it. And it matches perfectly. Look at that. Look at that. Pixel perfect. And one more thing, that is the front view. Let's say Tsubasa back. What is this? This is the left view. This is the top view. Top. And we're gonna make another one. Well, yeah, let's actually make two more. We are gonna make we're gonna make, which one? This is the front. So the front view should be over here. Okay, let's align to the center of that sign. There we go. Oh my god, it's perfectly aligned with the antenna. Very nice. Very nicely aligned blueprints, by the way. Sometimes they also, when they scan the blueprints, if they're not digitally made, they're also going to be slightly tilted. Like, you know, sometimes they're like slightly like this, and then the bottom point doesn't match the top. It's not exactly symmetrical, and it's always annoying, and then I have to manually rotate it. And okay, so we have this, and yes, of course, we have to put it on the bottom of the chassis, as we can hear something, as we can see, like somewhere here. We will have to check with the roof, though. Is that the roof? Not really. Okay, the roof is somewhere here, right? This is much better. Yes, this matches the line. And yeah, it does actually match the bottom now in a much better way. Okay. Yeah, this is basically it, right? If we move it forward. Oh, actually it's not. It's not matching the front bumper. Interesting. Is it slightly less scaled or something? Because this should be matching it. Ah, looks like the scale is slightly off. Yeah, looks like this should be smaller. Well, that's about that's enough about saying that how blueprints are amazing, because it is slightly off, obviously. Right? The roof is not this big. Yeah, so it must be slightly smaller. Okay, something like this. Something like this. Is that better? I think so. I think it is. I think it is. Yeah. Okay, let's go with this one. Okay. And finally, this is going to be the front. And finally, what... Yeah, let me actually put it slightly in the front. Finally, I'm going to make a duplicate, rotate it 180 degrees. And I'm going to put it in the back. And the back is, of course, moved over here. And now we also have to check which back is it, which lines are there. There we go. Something like that. Is it also, it looks like it's also, the scale is a bit off. Yeah, but I think the bottom matches. The bottom matches here. The bumper, this one is now bigger slightly. Yeah, I don't know. It is kind of weird. So it's not to be relied upon that much. At least when it comes to dimensions. But also, this one shows the ending, not the beginning, not the center. So, but anyway, I think that, you know, we're not making an exact copy. So this is approximately there. Okay. And the most important thing to do now, since we have this chaos of things, of blueprints, right? We have these, yeah, and I also want to rename this to the back. Okay. Let me actually save that. Is that the latest one? I don't have a later one. No. February 2024. That was the last time I did it. Oh, I wasn't looking at the chat. What? Facts. Real life is just smudged pixels confirmed. Yeah, it kind of is. Hear me out, Narwhal Channel says. Regulations aside, spoiler on the Group A. Yeah, why not? Why not put a spoiler on the Group A? Black Bladder says, will you be adding Yugo Zastava? Yes, kind of. At some point, I am planning to. I have already modeled. You know, the Yugo is the car that I modeled at least 10 times before. I know it by heart. I probably don't need even to even use the blueprints or the references. There has never been a properly aligned blueprint from the net. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Okay. Yes, blueprints are never to be 100% trusted in, but you know, you can do the best job at aligning them. Okay, so finally, since we have this super clutter of everything, an important thing to do finally is we have these options for images, right? And what these do is you can make, for example, you can put them to only be shown when they're aligned with the axis. So they will not show in perspective or orthographic, but only when they're aligned with the axis. So, for example, if we make this here for everything, when we go into the top view, we can now see the top, right? If we go into the front, we see the front. If we go into the back, if we go into the side, we can see the side view. But we don't see them when we're in other views, which is pretty handy, right? Because you kind of don't wanna see them otherwise. And another thing is that if I go to the front view, I can also see the back, which is not what I want. Right. So I do actually want to put the the side to be front. So now it will not show on the back. Wait a minute, it does still show on the back. Is it front? No, wait a minute. It should only show from the front. What is going on? I think. Did I select? Oh no, I selected the wrong thing, I think. Depth front. Okay, why is it not showing? Why is it? Oh, there it is. There it is. Yes, there it is. It only shows on the front. So wait a minute. This is the front. So the front should be on the back. Did I make a mistake when I was positioning these things? Oh yeah, I flipped it around. Okay. Well, we can actually just flip it around like this. Yeah, I did accidentally flip it around, it looks like. It should be the front and the back are in the opposite directions. Okay, so there it is. So when we're looking at everything should basically be front-sided so that it doesn't show. Well, for example, the side view can be both because we can see it. We should be able to see it on the left and the right. But the front should definitely be only visible on the front, and the back should only be visible on the back. And finally, we have the top, which can be visible on the bottom. We don't really mind that. We don't really mind if you can see it from the bottom. Okay, so there we go. When we are in the other views, we can't see them. When we are in the exact views, we can see them. And another thing which is going to help with modeling, right? If I start modeling right now, what's happening is that where's my cube, right? Where did it go? Well, it's actually behind everything. It's behind the image, which is not what we want. So what I do want is I'm gonna turn on the opacity here and turn it a bit down. And what this allows is that you can actually see through while you're working on. So, you can see both images. And also you have this depth setting. So if you put a default, the cube is going to be rendered on top of the, well, it is actually going to be sorted with So if we put the cube behind the image, as you can see like this, if I put it behind, it is the image is going to be rendered on top of the cube, which makes sense, right? Because it is behind the image. But if we put this to the setting front, then it will always be rendered in the front. And you can also see it when you put it in the back, it's always going to be rendered in the back, which is not what we want. So you basically want to put front for everything. And yeah, I said that for the left, I don't want it to be sided to the front. But yes, the depth should always be in front, and we should put opacity for all of these. And finally, one last thing that we need to do is that right now, if I try to select things, right? If I try to select the cube, I might accidentally select a blueprint. And these should not be movable, right? We can also accidentally take a blueprint and accidentally move it, and it's like, oh no, I didn't want to do that, right? This should always be static, and it should not be selectable. We should be able to select everything that is behind the blueprint. So what we're actually going to do is make these images unselectable. And you can make it unselectable by exposing a filter here in the outline in Blender. And you can see here, right? This one opens a selectable column. And if we turn on this filter, then we can see that this kind of a new category of the filter, it gets exposed. And what we can do is we can just turn all these backgrounds into making it unselectable. So whatever we click, they're now unselectable, and there we go. They're now truly backgrounds, right? Completely unselectable. And if you do want to select them, well, you have to go into the outline and select them there, or make them selectable again. So there it is. We have set up the initial, wow, it took me like an hour to do that, but okay, I have been talking a lot. So this is the most important thing about kind of starting to make the game, the car from scratch, is really to set up your blueprints and your references and make sure that everything works. We can view everything from the side, can't select anything, can't move. Pretty cool. Okay, so now we can finally start modeling. So find some cool references. We have done that already, actually. I did it yesterday. Place some blueprints for measurement. Done. And now we're finally on to modeling the car. So there we go. First stage of the stream complete. Are you enjoying it so far? How is it, by the way? How are you? I didn't even ask the viewers. Is everybody okay? And how is the heat where you are? Because over here it's like 40 degrees all the time, even in the night. Not really, I mean 40, but it doesn't go below 30, and it's crazy. I don't think we've ever had weather this hot for such a long time. And I could refill my drink. So I'll be back in a minute. All right. I am back with some Coke. ASMR drinking. This was the easy part. It says Narvel Channel. Number 1. Number 2, good. Number 3, mercifully Scandinavian. I don't know what the answers to. I guess you're good. Okay, that was Are you okay? And then mercifully Scandinavian was about the heat, I guess. So yeah, good thing that it's not too hot there. And Uhi here says, about to model stuff in Blender later this summer. Extremely simple stuff soon, so this is useful. Good. Yeah, cool. This can give you a little bit of inspiration and hopefully teach you a few tricks. Oh, by the way, do I still have this plugin for showing the keys? What was the name of it? Screencast keys. Does it work? Let's see. No, I don't see anything. Screencast keys. Oh, it doesn't work, of course, because it's super old. This is Blender 4, and the Blender API changes all the time. So, yes. Well, too bad. Okay, let me actually try to install it, if there is a newer version. Screencast keys. So this will, I'm just trying to get it so that you can see what I'm pressing. Let's see if April 21, fix bugs. This add-on includes semantic versioning, but I don't know. Can realize a short-term release after bug fixes. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work, but let's see. Okay, let's install it. Where was it again? Screen to get keys, add-ons. Okay, let me disable it, and I'm gonna take this one. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. Well, let me hide while I'm going through my system. Where's my Blender add-ons? Blender add-ons. Blender scripts. Okay. Screencast keys. Replace. I already had screencast keys. Let's see. Install. Blender scripts, screencast keys. Okay, let's see if it works. Nope, it doesn't work. All right, so what's the problem? It says enable mod register. Okay, well, unfortunately, I'm going to do it without the screencast keys. I'm going to look into it later at some other date. If it's maybe there's no compatible version with Blender 4. That's the thing. Unfortunately, if you can, maybe you can Google it up and something that works with Blender 4. But yeah, let's not waste too much time on this. It's already midnight here, and I didn't even start modeling. Okay, so let's begin modeling. So basically, when I start with a car, I usually start by making a box. Let's move this. Is there like cursor to origin? To cursor to world origin? There is, so that I can just place a. So Shift A, since you can't see screencast keys, and make a cube. Okay, there we go. And the reason why, and then the first thing to do with a cube is take all the vertices and delete the the other side and only have one side. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. And yeah, basically I just needed one quad, and that is on the side. And the first thing that I do after I have this quad is I add a mirror modifier. Okay, and there we go. So whatever we do on this side, it's going to be mirrored on the other side. So starting with a single quad, I'm going to call this Tsubasa body. And I'm going to move that into the export. All right, so the first polygon I always start when I start modeling the car is kind of the side, the door. And yeah, let's just put it sort of over from wheel to wheel. There we go. And yeah, the trick is in the beginning that you should use as little, well, not you, but I do it. I try to use as little polygons as possible, because you can later fill in with additional polygons, and it's much easier to move things around, to rescale when you have a little number of polygons. And if I go into the sideways view, I can see that it's a little bit off. I can just move it there, and that's basically it. This is our side panel. Our side panel is already there. It's a single quad. Okay, and now I'm just gonna select an edge and extrude to match here. We have something like that. And you know, at this point, we should put it over here, but at this point it starts getting curvier, right? And the back, we're gonna put it like this, and there we go. We have the side of the car. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? There we go. But if we look at the top, we can see that the lines are actually getting, how do you call it? They're curving inwards, right? So I'm already immediately going to start chopping it into pieces. You can move edges, slide them with GG. So when you press GG, you slide them around. Okay, and I'm gonna put it over here, and this one over here, and we have this bumper, which is very nice. But right now, I'm not gonna care about the bumper. I'm just gonna care about the inside, what's not a bumper. And there we go here, and I'm gonna end with the end and make sure that it's at 0. And we already know that it's planar with X, so I don't have to scale it, but normally I would scale to 0. Okay, so we have one side, and the back is also sort of moving inwards, let's say. We have that, and let's just use one polygon for now. There we go. So we have the general shape. There we go. It's done. Look at that. It's beautiful. And why am I using the green? I don't have to use the green. I can use the clay. It looks slightly better. Okay. I got this bad habit of always over modeling it, says Narvel Channel. Yes. Well, we are moving into the over modeling phase. But slowly, okay? Slowly. Okay. So, as we can see here, what is going on, right? We have this bumper. So, we can also see that the bumper... Oh, yeah, let's look at some references before we do it. If we look, I love this picture. It's beautiful. You can also see how low the car can go, how far the wheel can penetrate the wheel well. Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting that the bumper is actually aligned. You see, this is not the case with later models, because you have this very nice curved bumper which kind of stops being a bumper on the other side, right? So it stops at the wheel well, which is not the case. What I'm trying to say is, like, you see this surface is very smooth, but on the other side of the wheel well, this surface is not smooth because the bumper is in the way, which is not the case here with the Legacy, because it has this bumper on one side, but on the other side you have this trim thing. And yeah, so it's interesting that it kind of continues. Is the like the body buckling here from the impact? Is it possible? Because it does look like it's a bit buckling. I'm not sure. But yeah, you can actually kind of see that the line from the bumper continues over there, which is super nice. I like the design. The newer models don't have that. It's kind of like completely different style here and here. Yeah, you can see it on the rear as well, because it's super smooth here, but then there's this bumper transition here. If you get what I mean. What about the Evo? Yeah, same thing here. Same thing here. Very, very chunky bumper, and then nothing is here. Interesting. Okay, anyway. So yes, we have the start, which for some reason, wait a minute, is this the front? Yes, it is. Okay, no, everything is okay. Everything is okay. Okay, so what do we do next? Well, I do want to align this slightly better. We have this, and then we have the bumper over here. But as you can see, we already have this trim which we can cut through. So let's do that. I'm gonna align that to be exactly where the cut is, where the rubbery, I don't know how to even call it. How do you call this thing on a car? This black relief. I'm not sure what the exact terminology is. Okay, and let's make sure that it's also aligned over here. Yes, it is. All right. Yeah, and why is the upper part important? Because that's where the bumper starts, right? So even if we have it over here, the bumper actually extrudes from there. So, but the bumper is not relevant later, right? Is it? It's only relevant until the wheel well. Let me actually take a look. Yeah, there is no bending here. There is no bending here. So I'm gonna do it until the wheel well. Let's actually do it like that, and I'm gonna subdivide, and so now we know that this subdivision goes until here, and then we have the bumper, which is kind of like this, right? Nice. There we go. We already have the bumper. And this will continue into the wheel well, but we will only do it after we make the wheel well. Okay. And on the rear, we have the same thing. We have the same cut, which I'm going to move down all the way, and then move again, slightly up. There we go. We have it matching, and we can also extrude it to go on there until there. And we have a little bit of a lip here, but we can do that as well later. Okay, so now we have that part, but another important thing about cars, right, is that you have this window, unfortunately, the side window, and the side windows are inclined, right, compared to the side of the door. But what you can also notice is that it's not just the windows that are inclined on the side. It's also the upper part of the door panel, right? That's also inclined, and it's kind of flush. It's almost flush with the on the same slope as the side window. So what you can notice is that there is this breaking point, right? This breaking line where it goes from being straight to being at an angle. And the same thing happens on the bottom. There is a similar line on the bottom that goes inward, and then it goes straight, and then it goes at an incline again. Yeah. So basically, what we need to do is we need to add this incline. And this incline is not noticeable on the side view, but we can probably see it in the front. Yeah, there it is. This is where it sort of starts. But it does change over time. I guess the back part is the highest, and then it goes down to we can see that it actually goes down to the front light, right? It goes from this line, this breaking point, as I say, the line that breaks the incline and the upright part of the panel. And that's exactly where the doorknob is actually, which is interesting. So yeah, it goes from the top of the headlights to the back, which is slightly up there. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new line that goes through the whole thing. Goddamn. Okay, through the whole thing. We're going to do the whole thing, okay? And this should be almost all the way up. But on this side, it's going to start from here. And this side is going to be starting from and it's slowly going up, which we don't really see. Yeah, well, we did see that it's on the doorknob. So I'm guessing it's going sort of like this way, right? And then it slowly goes up. Maybe something like this. Let's try. So, and now we can lean these points. What is going on here? Okay, there was some kind of a hole there. So we can put these at an incline. There it is, to match about the slope that we see there. And also, we can do the same thing as we said to the bottom. And that I can actually do it by moving slightly down. No, let's keep this up there. But I'm going to subdivide this one. Subdivide this one. And I'm going to push it slightly inboard. There it is. So, and the front, yeah, this one is also actually, let's add it through the hole. Yeah, let's add it through the whole thing. I'm not sure how much. Oh yeah, it is inclined, as we can see through from the front bumper here. Yeah, so sort of like this. Okay, and then of course, what we have on the side here are the windows, and I keep pressing a layer button. And these are simply, I'm gonna extrude like this, and for now. And of course, these are going to be at about the same angle, which we can see in the side view. And then we have the roof, which I'm just going to do as a single line for now. And there we go. And that should be the top. Okay, cool. And then finally, of course, we have these two splits that we can turn into the hood like this. And finally, as a front window, which goes somewhere, something like that. And let's combine these, and this is going to be at there. Let me do a little cut so that I can connect these by distance. Everything is welded. And of course, well, the middle of the windshield, we should raise it to match this point. There we go. And the middle of the hood is actually quite straight, which is interesting. Well, for the late 80s, early 90s cars, that is the case. And also, what we have here is we have the rear, of course. I didn't make only 2 cuts, but let's try this. Yeah, let's just do a quick and dirty merge here. There we go. And we basically have the car. We basically have the car. Let's move these to match the outlines. And of course, this actually starts not from here. I made a mistake there. But the side part starts from the big pillar over here, which is all the way inside here. Yeah, I made a little mistake here, but that's okay. It's human to make mistakes. Yeah, it goes all the way from here, and which means that it is kind of like this. Yeah, let's actually do a cut here. Oops, no, not that cut, but cut through here. Subdivide, and I'm gonna just join these two. There we go, and I can push it slightly like here. And there we go. This is kind of fucked up, but we're gonna care about it later. There we go. We basically have the basic shape, right? Kind of. We have sealed the car. Well, we haven't actually sealed it because the floor is missing, but that doesn't matter because we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a floor slightly later. So yeah, kind of like that. And we have a sort of a matching shape, which is good. The backside. Yeah, the backside needs a lot of fixing. That's okay, but you know, the general shape is fine. There's the good thing is that the blueprints match the side and the rear, and this actually needs to be a lot further. The top of the glass is over here, the side is over there. Okay, it's kind of like that, right? And the roof is so thin. The roof is surprisingly thin, but it should also be slightly bent, as we can see, in every dimension. Something like this. Something like that. Yep. Something like that. Okay. So there we go. We have the general shape, and of course it is way too wedgy here, but we're gonna add some polygons. So now it's time to add more polygons, right? Now that we have the general shape. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. So stage 2. Well, we're still modeling the car, so I guess that's it. Yeah, so what is the next thing going to be? So the most complicated part of making a car is actually, well, at least in my opinion, it's actually combining these edges with the windows, like interaction between the windows, the pillars, and this line over here between the hood and the side. That is the most annoying thing to model in a car. And you can see that actually it is quite interesting because, yeah, actually that's something that you need to pay attention when you're looking at cars. Where do exactly windows and pillars, how do they actually interact? Because every car has a completely different pillar side interaction. For example, here in the newer Subaru, you can see that hello involved. Nice to see you. You can see, for example, here the A pillar is kind of merges into the side, into this sloped section of the side, which is not the case in the Legacy. The Legacy feels like it's much more part of the hood. So yeah, this is, but it does actually kind of blend into the, yeah, it is kind of weird. But anyway, one thing, of course, to notice is that there are pillars and there are the windows. So this is not just the pillar is not just one edge, right? It's actually a combination of it's actually a plane between the two windows. So that is what we need to model as well. And of course, we do need to model. I think when it comes to like modeling the front bumpers and everything, the situation is far easier than modeling these interactions between the windows and the side of the car, for example. Yeah. So as I said, what we can notice here is that also another thing that we need to take care of is how does the hood exactly interact with the side. It's kind of hard to see here, but is it a constant? Is it a sharp break or is it a slope? There seems to be also like a slight how do you say this, like extrusion there, not an extrusion but like a bend in the opposite direction, like in a concave fashion. It's not completely convex, there is a little bit of a dip, but in this, for example, from this view I don't really see it, so it is kind of strange. Yeah, there is a little bit of concavity, I think, here. Yeah, it is kind of hard to see, but yeah, also this interaction between the door and the side is a bit weird. There is this like this spitz, how do you say it in English? The vertex is a bit above the door, which makes it look a bit like bad design. Yeah, it's actually real. I just noticed that the rear side window is completely misaligned with the door. That is strange. Maybe I should fix that in my design. Anyway, so yes, let's kind of model that as a so yeah, the way you can easily model this, the B pillars and the A. Oh yeah, one more thing that I want you to care about is, of course, the rear window. How, in the same way that the front window interacts with the sides and the hood, the rear window also needs to interact with the rest, with the trunk and the side. And in the Legacy, it seems that it's very blocky, which is pretty cool. In the Impreza, there's definitely, oh, look at this complexity. Look at this. It's both sharp and smooth, and those kind of things are the most difficult to do. I mean, I'm talking now here as if I'm making a AAA model, and this is just gonna be diffuse only, and yeah, I know it's gonna be so low poly anyway. But I mean, I'm just talking about this in general about modeling. So yeah, but this seems to be easy to model, actually, the rear, so I don't really have to care so much about the rear. But yeah, as I was saying, the easiest thing to model a B-pillar, well, these pillars, is to just simply bevel this edge. This is how I usually do it. So I'm just going to bevel it, and there it is. we have the A pillar now. Beautiful. Okay, and now we need to make sure that everything is, of course, it doesn't look like this, but there is a nice slope. And as we have seen, for example, this thing doesn't need to exist anymore because we can just use that for our pillar. So there it is. And this doesn't need to have this complex thing. It can be just that, and that's it. And now this is part of the slope, which is pretty cool. And if we want to sharpen it, right, the only thing we need to do is simply move it slight inwards, and that's basically it. But this is part of the slope, so yeah, maybe I need to turn it in a bit. And yeah, and this is actually kind of constant. Yellow, let me see, and yeah, there it is. We can see where the window ends and where it begins. So yeah, something like that. And now, yeah, I should probably move this backwards to match that. And this can be a lot thinner to kind of make it sharper looking. So there it is, kind of like that. When we smooth everything, it's going to look a lot better. But yeah, okay, so on the front, we also have this, yeah, let me actually take a look again. How does it interact here? I think that there's actually a sharp transition, but it is kind of hard to see. Can you see it in here? Yeah, it's impossible to see whether there's a sharp transition or not, but we can see, what we can see is where the windshield starts. Yeah, this is slightly like that. And this is definitely a little bit inboard. Of course, we need to kill this thing. And this could even be it. This could even be it. But no, this is a little bit clumsy. So I'm pretty sure that this is just a smooth bit that slants a bit. So maybe I can do, yeah, let's do a cut through the whole thing. I think this is a better solution. And then we have it, yeah, so that it's not that sharp. So there we go. And should I keep it this? Where is exactly the split between the door? It is actually all the way behind. So let me actually attach it there. Okay, here we go. Something like that. So we can use that for the door. Yeah, there we go. The door is actually far behind the pillar. Interesting. Yeah, and the pillar itself is a lot further back. Yeah, that is consistent with the side view, which is perfect. Yeah, so there we go. So now we know that these are the windows. And let's see what's happening on the side. We know that these are the windows as well. Oh yeah, we also have the same kind of bend on the top. We have the same kind of a... Aha, it's interesting. The roof is actually going all the way around, which is pretty cool, if you ask me. So it's almost like there's an extrusion here, you know, and the roof is a completely separate thing. Is a completely separate thing. Yeah, I'm just gonna do... Should I do a chamfer here? Another one, like this. Yeah, maybe. We have this little curve anyway. So yeah, so now we can say that this is the window. You know what? Let's color it. Let's color it so that we see where the windows are. So Tsubasa body. Let's make it into a body, and I'm gonna make it into Tsubasa windows. So for now, let's make it just completely black and completely smooth. And I'm gonna make these be windows. We should be able to see it. There it is. And the body, should we make it like Subaru blue? Like this. A bit darker, a bit less rough. Yeah, something like that. This is a die-cast model, by the way, I think. It is impressive, but it's not the real thing. Something like that. There we go. Beautiful. Can you tell what car it is? Anyway, so yes, we see that this is the car, but it does have two windows, which is interesting. That is a horrible quad. Can't tell yet. I don't know what do you mean by hello, I am watching, by the way. I don't know what you mean by a terrible quad. Which are you referring to? Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay, this should definitely go up to here. So let's just match it these, although it does need to interact with the hole at some point. All right, so yeah, we're going to add polygons here at a later date. Yeah, and this obviously does have a plastic bit here, which we will add at a later date as well. Oh yeah, let me also add the same kind of a split on the top so that we have a little bit of a slope. And also, we can, what can we do? Yes, I mean, that's basically it. The windows, I mean. All right, so since we have these additional polygons now, we can model the front in a little bit better fashion, right? We only have the bumper, a very crude bumper right now, and we don't even have the front, which is slanted a bit. And the front lights, of course, This looks like 80s Cadillac or something. No, I don't know. I can't remember what the was it the Cadillac, which had like this very sharp edge here. Splitter lip first. Splitter lip is, yeah, GTA San Andreas. Yeah, the Washington. Is that the one? I can't remember. Anyway, no, the Washington was a different car. Splitter lip first. Splitter lips are super easy to make, so that is the. I'm going with the super hard stuff first. Okay, so the top view is the best way to see how curvy the corners are actually, right? So we can do this. We can move that here. We can move that here. It actually wants to go. Yes, we need to split this thing all the way down so that it doesn't complain. Yes, so that we have this split over here. There we go. We have the bottom split. And then we have the side, which we absolutely need one more. So that I can model this a little bit better. A little bit more curvy. And I mean, we can also, if we don't like it, we can also always remove the polygons later. So yeah, something like that. Although, yeah, it is actually a lot closer here. Yeah, this is more like it. This is more like it, but it goes all the way inside. Yeah, I need to look at the corner. Yeah, the front light is quite slanted, but not by this much. There is something wrong here. Maybe I need to do it something like a slightly better slope here. Let's take a look at a different angle. Can we see? I really love this glow, by the way. It looks great. So yeah, it is actually quite vanilla, this front light. Not as curvy as Yamada. More horrible quads again. Yes. Horrible quads are the best. Well, I kind of got it right, except that, yeah, the problem here is really that these things are not aligned at all, like to the rest. Whoops, what am I doing here? Yeah, let's keep it looking at here. Yeah, you can see here. It's this thing. That thing was terrible. And there is another one all the way down. Yeah. Something like that. Slightly better, but this thing is still quite... Okay, what if I make it even thinner? Like this. Yeah, a plethora of horrible quads here. Yeah, this should... yeah, let's actually Let's make this go at an angle. Yeah, I'm gonna actually remodel this because I want to keep this line match here instead. But yeah, that means we will need to add one more polygon in here. So yeah, let me add one more. Let me add one more. But yeah, something is very wrong here. Why are these lines are completely terrible. Completely terrible. Completely terrible. Yeah. This, yeah, I mean, I am missing the detail here, for sure. It's a little bit annoying that I can't see what's going on in the bottom. But yeah. Yeah, I did add too much detail now. I guess, can I remove something here? Can I remove these? If I remove these, right, it is a lot less curvy now. Yeah, but I think it's much better. I'm going to move this thing. This is almost correct. Almost correct. Okay, now I have to realign the rest. Yeah, and also one more thing is that the bonnet actually has a little bit of a slope. So it doesn't follow exactly the lights, right? The slope should be a lot higher than the lights. As you can see, it's not exactly where the lights end. So yeah, there you go. It looks a lot better now. Let's fact check with the side. Yeah, as you can see, the top of the lights is not exactly where the break point is. It is a lot higher. Okay, and then we have this on the side as well. And yeah, what about the front? Okay, this is about correct. Feels like the slope should be less of a slope here. Let's see. Yeah, but I think this is pretty cool. I think this is pretty good. Maybe I can even reduce the number of polygons at some point. What if I reduce here? No. What if I reduce this one? Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, we can always reduce it later. Let's make sure everything is merged. It is. Whether this line should go into here, that's the question. That's questionable. I probably should have another break over here so that there is a little bit of a slope. But yeah, it's a bit hard to see. It's a bit hard to see. But it's very flat, to be honest. It's very flat. It seems to be quite a sharp transition. Yeah, here you can see it. You can see there's almost no bump over here in the middle of the hood. This is how they used to make cars back in the day. And new cars, they're just completely flat. They're just you completely lost this breaking point, this sharp breakage. If you look at like this car. If you look at this car, no, not that car. This car. Yeah, you can see this is like a modern car. Just the bumper. There is this bump in front. It's like the whole car. The brake is actually all the way down here. That's where the shape changes. Such a completely radically different design. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, we will go back later to the front splitter and everything. But that, as I said, is relatively simple. What I want to do is I want to focus on the general shape, which is also now fixing the back. And I do want to punch holes in the wheels, because that's also a little bit difficult part. Not too difficult, but slightly. Are you still in Iceland? In Iceland? I'm not in Iceland. Who says I'm in Iceland? Who said... How did you find out I'm in Iceland? How did you get that? Did I mention something about Iceland recently on Discord or something? I don't know. Because of high temperatures. In Iceland? No, I'm not in Iceland. I'm in... oh yeah, you said something about... No, it's not Iceland. It's I'm in the Balkans, because that tweet was about 40 degrees in the Balkans. That was the white... I'm living in the white pixels on that map. We're in the Balkans, in Belgrade, in Serbia. And Belgrade was like white in that. Well, let me dig it up, just show you a little break from modeling. Oh, sick, says I am watching. Homey country. What does that mean? Are you also from Serbia? I don't know. But yeah, where was that? Yes, it was this tweet. That somebody said... okay, let's see. Yes, guess where I live. That's what I said. But then somebody said in Iceland. Oh, that is you involved, right? And I said I wish, so I'm not. Because it's not on the map, I guess. That was the joke, right? But yeah, the thing is that there, I'm in the white. It's somewhere here. I'm in the white part. It's this thing that's like changed by 15 degrees this summer. My God, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So yeah, this is not the temperature change. This is the anomaly of the maximum. So you can see that in France, over time, the temperature went down. But in the Balkans, it went up. It's fucking terrible. So, Eastern Europe is charcoal, yes. Anyway, yes, that is what we were referencing here. So, there were some things were involved. Sorry, I didn't hear why it's called Tsubasa, because it's similar to the real manufacturer. I'm Romanian. Oh, I am watching as Romanian. Okay. Cool. Where in Romania? Yeah, so you are having a good time as well, right? In Romania. Bucharest. Oh, nice. I've never been to Bucharest. Would love to go. I've been in Timisoara. I've been in Cluj. And yeah, but I've never been in on the other side of the country. Um, Balkans region is amazing, at least from what I saw in photos and YouTube videos. Thank you. I mean, depends what videos you mean. If you look at some war footage, I don't think it's very nice. But yeah, I mean the nature is nice, and you know when it's not too hot, it's cool. It's nice. Okay, well, back to modeling. I completely forgot where I was. Okay, so I was thinking about proceeding onto the rear end, the business end. Um, and yeah, there is a little bit of a lip here. I need to consult the top view to see how closely does it match. It is actually quite close. Is this the top? Okay, this is the top. So yeah, this is actually pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool, except that I would need a little bit of detail here. Yeah, I should actually cut it through because yeah, let's actually do it like this. So I'm gonna cut this thing and then remove this edge, and now we have some quads, some beautiful quads, and I can then make it a little curvier, as I would say, something like that. There we go. And we can add the curve as well here, but I do have to consult the reference as well. Yeah, it is actually, I think there is a little, there's less, there's also this lip on the bottom, which we will add later. But on the top, there it is. This is a great view. I see. So it is actually consistent. The top follows. The top follows. Let me just do this. Completely follow it. Yeah, that actually looks better than just adding a slope. What is going on? Okay, yeah, this is what I was trying to do. There we go. And then this part is basically straight up all the way until the top. So this should be perfectly on top of my lower vertices. There we go. And then it's only later that I push it towards, yeah, that I add a slope like here. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good, except for this little corner here. This annoying little corner. Which actually is quite sharp. Interestingly, you can see how sharp this corner is and how more and more smooth it becomes as it goes back. Yeah. So basically, I was correct to notice that this is very sharp Yeah, it's kind of like this. I think that's basically it. No. Yeah, except that the rear lights begin somewhere here, above this line. Interestingly, yeah, the breaking point is actually on the rear lights, on this plastic bit, which we can add later. Okay, so I think that is pretty much it. There's something wrong with the slope. I don't really like it. Yeah, I think that this thing is pushed way back. But we're actually going to add that. Yeah, we're going to add that later. We're going to fix that after I punch the wheel wells. Okay, so I think we got something that looks like a car. That looks like a car. Let's see in the back side. Aha, okay, well. The side should be... this is not very good. Does this mean it should be a little bit more inside? What the hell is going on here? Why is there so many polygons? I'm slightly confused about this. Yeah, it should be, according to the blueprint, this should be far more inside than it does look. But yeah, I will add this. Yeah, this will be modeled later as I improve the bottom here. Yeah, okay. So, next up, we have it sort of nicer polygons of these of the pillars. Next up, the wheel wells. By the way, I'm working right now in a Finland stage for Richard Burns Rally. Nice. I wonder if maybe I decimate it a little. I could export to your game. Sure. You can also try not to decimate it. That would be a nice challenge. Sorry, my writing. I am not native English speaker. Are you kidding? Everything sounded perfect to me. So that's great. Except for the word specker. But everything else is good. So your English is perfectly fine. Don't worry about that. But yeah, decimated a little bit. Well, actually, my engine supports 32-bit indices, so you should be able to load any size meshes. But yeah, well, that would be an interesting challenge to try like gigantic meshes. I just don't use it because it's like a retro game. But I never actually tried to make a huge mesh. Okay. Couldn't load Yamada. Yeah, I should name a car Yamada. That's a good name. That's a good name for a car. I need to learn how to do it. Well, yes. You can also watch one of my previous streams about map making. There, you can see me export stuff. But also, important to note is that there are modding docs. I always need to mention this. If you go to the Shakedown docs, there is modding where you can see how do you want how to export GLTF or GLB, and how to do how to do your car, how to do your maps, how to set up all the surfaces and blah blah blah, your special objects and material tags, splat materials if you want them, and stuff like that. And then and there's some tips as well at the bottom. But yeah, this is where anybody who wants to go to mod should read this up. Oh my god, there is an ad inside here. That's annoying. Anyway. Nice, thank you. Cheap viewers. Oh no, there is also an ad in the chat. Delete. How can I block? Ban user, yes. Reason spam. There we go. Okay. Anyway, so is everything cleaned up? Yes. Message deleted. Nice. Okay. So we have, yeah, let's make a wheel well. Now, what I usually do with the wheel wells is that where did my things go? They disappeared. Oh, it's because I just removed the view. Yeah, don't forget to turn on the views, this the line thing. Jesus, fly is annoying. Okay, let's try to continue. Yeah, so when it comes to wheel wells, the thing that I do usually, the simplest way to model the wheel wells, we can see that these are not exactly circular. They're a little bit squashed. I actually want to check how many polygons I used on this one. How many was it? Aha, I actually used like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the top line. Oh, right. I actually painted it in with pixels. This is incredibly important to know. Yes, I will have to do that in the texture as well. But let's not care about it for now. Okay. So when it comes to wheel wells, right? We have the car right now, which doesn't have any. It is just a model of the sort of the outside of the body. And what I usually do is I create a new circle mesh. And this circle mesh, which is actually, I should say, a line to the view. There it is. Then it creates this thing. And I am going to put the radius, reduce it to sort of match. It doesn't really matter right now because we can always remove it. But the most important thing is to put the right amount of polygons. So right now, what I usually like to do is either use 12 or 11. No, wait, or how many? 14? Because then you have a flat on top, and you have a, yeah, let's try 12. No, well, this one has a flat on top, so I might actually do a 10. Rotation. Oh, no, not that rotation. Let's actually try it quickly. Since, yeah, before I go outside of this mode. Yeah, I think that this is actually enough because it has 2 polygons here and it will go all the way down here. But the reason why I use a circle like this is because it becomes easier to align everything later. So yeah, I am going to put it to sort of this way. And you know, if we want, we can always add more polygons. But I'm gonna keep it like this. Okay, so we have this as a reference, and I'm gonna rescale it to match it. And you know, the good thing is that my vertices are almost exactly matching the circle, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, and now what I also do is I try to match the circle, the reference, before I do any cutting. And of course, the outside will go down, and it will go down about here, and the other side does go down to here. So does it look balanced at all? No. Yeah, this looks way too what if I try to make it slightly better? Does that, okay, yeah, now it matches sort of like, okay, so now that we have this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reposition some vertices like this one, but you shouldn't really care about this because I'm gonna cut everything anyway. So this thing can be a seam of a door, which is always nice because at some point I might actually cut these doors through. And then, since I don't have the rest, I'm just going to use the knife tool. There it is. And just cut through the polygons that I see here. And trying to, well, now I fucked up because I can't see where is the line. Well, let me remove, what? Wait. Where is, there is a circle. I can't even see the circle outside. Okay, yes, there it is. So now I can take the knife tool and cut it approximately where the points are. You could do it, in this case, okay, well, this is a low poly model, so I could have actually just looked at the I could have just looked at the reference and then the cut. I didn't have to make this circle. But yeah, when you make a high poly model, I actually like to use a circle, and I usually like to use the actual, you know, high poly circle, and then you can always put it like here and always use it as a reference and even squash it a bit if it needs squashing, or change the Bezier, you know, if it needs changing. So like this is if you want to squash a bit, and then always use this circle as a reference instead of using the picture. But since this is a low poly model, I could have just done that. Okay, so since we have this, I can hide the circle so that we don't mess up. Yeah, we can see that we have a new vertex here, a new vertex here, and we have two new vertices which are completely unconnected to the rest, and we should connect at some point, but for now it's okay. And the next thing to do is, of course, just delete these vertices. And at the beginning, what I do is just kind of extrude this, and I can just put it to 0, and I can even fill this up just so that we can have some kind of a nicer shape. But of course, this should be modeled later slightly better. But for now, and in a very crude model, I can just do that, and you know, it looks like a nice wheel well. Okay, let's do it for the rear as well. Yeah, let's reactivate the circle. I'm going to use the calipers again. I can move the circle now backwards, and do the same thing Over here, well, this one is slightly thinner, which is interesting. It doesn't have as much of a motion as the front part, the front one. But yeah, it should match over there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. Oh, and it is the top part is actually the top curve is actually flatter, which is interesting. Yeah, this is going to be a little more problematic to model because my polygons are all the way up there. They almost match the top. Okay, so let's move these vertices as I did before. This one is actually perfect. This I'm going to cut in half and put it over here. This one I'm going to cut in half, put it over there. And now we have this lip, which I could join here, but I don't think that's a good solution because the lip doesn't actually go up there. But if we actually align them, if they're aligned, then it does actually go up there. Okay, and finally we have these two, which I'm going to join and I'm going to subdivide, and we can also join these two. Cool. Okay, so we have that. We can remove, and there we go. We have a little bit of a fender here. Yeah, it does look terrible on this side, but does this lip actually go all the way? I can't really see. I don't think it does, or if it does, I don't know, it doesn't. It's completely flat in the back. This here feels like it does, but I can always fake this in the texture. So maybe this split doesn't even need to exist, right? This could all be, oops, sorry. Classic collapsing the microphone. Yeah, this can be just like, one vertex, and that's it. Doesn't need to be two vertices. There we go. But why is it so different? That is my question. Okay, maybe it needs to be a little bit inboard. Yeah, I think so. Something like that. Cool. Okay, not that bad. Not that bad. Okay, let's turn this one. Yeah, let's hide the helper circle. And let me put this. Okay, let's by distance. Okay, that doesn't do anything. But let's also extrude. I can realign, fill up, and there we go. I'm just going to join this quickly. And another thing is that I can align these. Well, they actually shouldn't be aligned exactly because the front wheel is being steered as well. So the rear wheel does not. So the rear wheel, the wheel well of the rear wheels is actually smaller than the front wheels. Just so it makes sense, but just so you know. Okay. And of course, the last bit that is missing right now is the floor. And for the floor, I'm not going to model it exactly right now. This should be a little bit flatter. But instead, I'm simply going to move I'm simply going to extrude these. So for this, I use just extrude all the way to the wheel wells. And I'm just going to put it over here. Combine everything. This did not exactly. This is not exactly on point. Yep, it's not. Nope, not cursor deselected by distance. And then we can use this thing, extrude it, put it to 0. And we have to move it to, oh, there it is, to 0. And now we have this thing, which we can just fill. But that's not very nice. So I'm just going to split it over here, and I can fill this one as well. And I will split this one just to have a little bit of better polygon. Okay, there it is. So I usually just super simply model this for now, for the beginning. Okay, so there we go. We kind of have the car now. We have the car that looks like a car. And yeah, and we have the windows. Low poly work is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I can also turn off the AC for a bit until I get cooked again. So yeah, we have the general shape. One more thing that I need are wheels. So let's see how it looks like with wheels. But I'm actually going to just reuse the Spec 17 wheels. And which one should I use? What's your vote? Should I use the gravel wheels or the tarmac wheels? I kind of want to use the gravel wheels. Which ones do you prefer? These are all tarmac wheels. Except for these and these. Yeah, need to make some classic wheel designs for sure. Gravel. Reuse assets is the key. Yes. Okay, let's just reuse this one. I'm gonna put it into Tsubasa, and just there it is. It's already aligned, basically. Okay, let me turn on the. Where is it? There it is. Let's see. Is it correct? Almost. It looks like the wheels are actually bigger. Is that possible? That the wheels of the Tsubasa are bigger? Interesting. And I'm gonna say, wait, what was the name of it? Tsubasa wheel, yes. Tsubasa wheel gravel. Okay, and for now, let me just try to copy it. God damn it, falling mic. Oh my god, it's completely wrong. Wait, did I get something? Oh my god. Did I not align this? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, I did a... Oh my god, I made a mistake at the beginning. That's the worst. All right. Well, folks, I made a mistake at the beginning. I didn't align this how do you call it? The wheelbase box to 0. Jeez. Okay, so yes, that is why the wheels are not exactly symmetrical. Great. So I have to move the whole thing now. Okay, so let me... Yeah. God damn it. Okay, I have to realign the whole thing now. I mean, the dimensions are fine. That's good. But the wheels are not. So, yeah. Yes, when I was setting this wheelbase, I should have put it to 0 when it comes to, well, it should be 0 also sideways. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I missed this. Did I just accidentally drop it or something? But yeah, anyway, I don't know. I need to put the helpers now. Wait, this is the left one, right? The left one should have the offset. Let me save before doing anything. Yeah, let's realign the offset here. It's about here. And it should be consistent with the top, right? Right? Offset X. I think so. Yeah, this is... well, it's not. Okay, wait, what's the problem here? Is it because I'm using another dimension? No, it is actually correct. It is correct. Yes. Okay, so there we go. So what I have to do now is I also have to move the body to match this. So I'm just gonna do it like that. And hopefully this is it. But now all the other helpers like the wheel wells and stuff is slightly misaligned, which sucks. But I think this is kind of it, right? Yeah, kind of like that. The wheel wells look okay. Yeah, okay. So, now the gravel wheel is over here. Okay, and when you duplicate it and put it to minus, it should be exactly aligned, yes, in pixel. Okay, cool. Fixed it. Fixed it. I can remove this one. Okay, and yes, I didn't align it sideways. So yeah, here we go. I'm just gonna put it aligned to the ones in the picture. And yeah, if I now duplicate it and put these to minus, including the other one, it should be that, except of course I need to rotate these. By 180. And by the way, this, you shouldn't actually copy the wheels. This is just for a test. Because there should be only one wheel in the export, which is then copied to everything. So I'm going to put these into helpers. So they should not be exported. And let's call this Tsubasa wheel rig. And this is Tsubasa length. There we go. Okay, so now when I hide these, oh well, I should hide the length and wheel rig boxes. We have the wheels. Does it look reasonable? I think so. It does look like a early 90s car, that's for sure. That's for sure. Okay. Make another car. Yes. Gold color is so historical. Well, no problem. Make the car. Maybe if you change the color of the wheels. Yes. Not yet. I'm just gonna reuse these ones. But yeah, I will definitely make... oh my god, look at this. The normals are crazy. Oh, and I didn't test. How does it look like? How does my car look like when I make it smooth? Auto smooth. Yeah, of course. What I need to do is I need to select all and make it smooth first. Well, there it is. It actually looks like a car. It looks much more like a car than before. Yeah, something like that. Cool. Not bad. There we go. Okay, well, since it's already 1 a.m., I am going to start. I'm going to end modeling right now. So let's say that this is perfect, that this is perfectly working. But I do want to test it in game. So let's try to set it up. The first thing that you should know is that the car needs to have a texture. Okay? You cannot have a car that doesn't have a texture. And I'm not gonna do texture work today. I might do it tomorrow. So for now, oh yeah, of course. I don't have the spoiler as well. Ah, this one, it doesn't even have a spoiler. Right, it does have some lights on top, which is cool. And it does have an antenna. Yeah, but of course, I'm missing a lot of details. I'm definitely missing a lot of details. Should I add some of the details right now? Very crude ones. Yeah, maybe I can also bake. Could I bake just a ambient occlusion or something? Just to see it in game. Yeah, no, that's gonna take a long time. Yeah, let's maybe just put a few more things like this rear view mirrors, just as you know, some kind of a detail that we can see and appreciate in our first version. Okay, where is it on the side? I'm gonna make it slightly like there. The cube, that's enough. I think it is. I think the cube is enough. And these ridiculous lights on top. Is that a light or is this a scoop? Is this like a, you know, like a hood scoop? Or did they have hood scoops in that time? I have no idea. Okay, maybe they didn't. Let's add these tiny hood scoops. I remember watching some kind of a documentary about rally and how they basically invented hood scoops. And that was a huge revolution. Because of course, the hood scoops are used for a cabin, for increasing the pressure in the cabin. And the reason why they do that is so that if you have a higher pressure inside a cabin, well, first, it's good for cooling your drivers. And the second thing is you keep your particles, like dust, away from the cabin because it is higher pressure inside. So the particles don't get in. So that's basically the point of it. The point of hood scoops, in case you didn't know. and I didn't know before watching this documentary. And basically, they started making the hood scoops bigger and bigger every year. And now they have like the hood scoops are super small, like they're on the roof, but they're like they're aerodynamic, but they're still sucking a huge amount of air inside to increase the pressure. Yeah, let's add the antenna as well, since I'm here. I can just make it out of a cube. Oh, why is it this? Let's do... but yeah, anyway, there you go. There's a little story about hood scoops for you. Yeah, but I don't remember when was it that they actually invented them, basically. So I'm not sure if this is a real hood scoop, or did they come later? Did they come earlier or later? I don't know. Anyway, there we go. We have a super chunky antenna. Any other detail that I should add that is hanging on top? I'm not going to make the whole splitter today. That's going to be... oh, yeah, of course. The mud flaps. The mud flaps. The mud flaps. It looks like lights. Yeah, it is definitely the lights. Gigamud flaps. Yes, I will do that. The rear triangle side window looks like lights, but in the other images it looks like pop-up scoops. Hello, Zero Sugar. How do you decide? Says Notke. How do you decide what to keep as loose mesh parts and what to add extra topology for? Wow. It's quite simple. I don't care. Well, I mean, this is not like... the thing is that with my... I mean, I was just adding this for testing, okay? This might not be the final form, right? I will add some detailing. I just want to have it as a little test to see how it looks like with everything. But yeah, it's a good question. Anyway, the thing is that this is such a low poly thing that I don't really, there's not really yeah, it doesn't really matter if you put things as separate topology or not. It really where it really matters is... let me just make sure that there are no polygons inside. Where it really matters is when you have like high poly stuff, and then you want to make sure that they blend. Oh, and of course normals as well, because I don't have any normals in game. I am using normals to render the scar now, but in game it's just going to be flat colored. There are no normals. So yeah, if you want to blend the normals perfectly, then you need to add it as part of the car. But also it depends on if you look at the construction of it. It's like, okay, is this part of the car? Or look, there are no scoops here. Is it part of the car, or is it like screwed in? So yeah, it's always a thing that you need to ask yourself when you're modeling. All right. Yeah, I also wanted to make this slightly better. Making this sharp and this thing sharp as well, to sort of make a difference. There we go. And here everything is already sharp, I think. Whoops. Well, I can also add a sharp in here. Although it is not really relevant because it's going to be all normals anyway. Okay, so there we go. I think I am quite satisfied with this crude model. And for the beginning, for the first model, yeah, I'm not going to unwrap it today and make the textures. That's going to happen tomorrow. Or some other day. Well, next time I stream. Oh yeah, one more thing I don't like is the bottom of this bumper. Why is it not flat? I mean, there's something wrong going on there. There you go. I think this is better. Yeah, definitely is. Yeah, and this probably should go back, right? Because this is my... Yeah, of course it should. But yeah, I need to model this first. I mean, okay, let's do it quickly. Let's do the front splitter. Let's just make it slightly better looking. I'm not gonna do super quality work, but at least make this match so that we have this thick part. There we go. And now I can also sharpen it up so that you can see this nice transition. There it is. Yeah, this shouldn't be sharp over here, so yeah, something like that. Anything else I should sharpen? That's okay, I think. Well, this looks like shit, but that's okay. Is it not? Nope. So something happened here. It got separated. Is everything okay now? Yes. Cool. Okay. So there we go. We even modeled the front splitter slightly. Not entirely, but that's gonna be fine. Those things look horrendous. What? The hood scoops, you mean? The roof scoops? Is there a reason you do not enable clipping in the mirror modifier and auto merge of vertices? Oh, is it not turned on? Clipping. What does clipping really do? I keep forgetting. It definitely doesn't kill. Oh. Wait a minute. Does it like stretch the vertex? Look at that. Look at that beautiful car. It's perfect. It's for like super huge families. I should play that music. You know what? You know what I'm thinking about, yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's proceed. For low poly, I think it's okay. Okay, so yes, it is already merging. Anyway, so what I want to do is I want to put on this thing. I'm not going to bake because I don't have time right now. Unless... Do I have a bake... some bake tools? I can't remember. Dream UV... No, I don't have it. Or was it in here? Baking. Oh, I do have baking tools. It's part of the text tools. Yeah, but I need to create a new texture. I'm gonna do a new texture. And this is gonna be new image. Tsubasa body. And how big should it be? This is 512 by 512. Let's do the same. And it's gonna be blank. Tiled. No, it's not tiled. There it is. Okay, so checker map. Okay. Oh, fuck. Yes, this should also be UV'd, but I'm just gonna do the smart UVing right now because I don't have time to UV and it's not really important. Oh, and I am going to resize then to 256 because... Did I resize it? I guess. Resize area. Okay. Just resize. Okay. I guess I have resized, right? Yeah, and this should use that texture. I'm gonna remove the windows because they should all use the same texture. We already know where the windows are. Yeah, let me try to bake it. So, bake it till you make it. Preview texture. Yeah, I don't have a bake here. Reload textures. Wait, I forgot how this is being used. Base color. Oh, right, it's this thing. Base color. No, I don't actually want base color. I want... Ayo, do I have a rig for... baking. Bake dummy. I need to remember. How did I do the baking for this? Bake. Ah, there it is. I did actually have a plane. Well, I am going to move it to the origin. And the sun is on the top. So Tsubasa body, and it's important to put the image, which is this one right now. Okay, so we have this in Eevee. Let's see how it looks like in cycles. Ah, that looks pretty good. Except of course it shouldn't be black, but I like the shine though. Looks pretty cool. Wow, it looks way better than it should. Don't forget to save. Good idea. Yeah, there you go. What extra maps are you going to use? Well, I only use the diffuse in in the game. That's basically it. Okay, so let's render this. How was that? I was okay. Let me not use that. I'm gonna use the preview. Let's see. I'm gonna save and let's try baking. Let's see if it works. Something is happening. Something is happening. I wonder if the resize happened. Oh, nice slope. AO. Okay, it's only AO. Oh, Tsubasa body AO. It has actually created a separate texture. Oh, I could actually use just the UV checker, you know. But okay, this is the AO. It's not bad. Let me just see the pure texture. This is actually pretty cool. I think this is this might look pretty good in the game. But let me try to create the lighting as well. How do you do lightning? What is this? Point base thickness is diffuse. Again, like shadow. Is it shadow maybe? Maybe it is. Let's try. To reset the position of something, you can just press Alt-G. Right, yes. I am actually using Alt-G and Alt-R and Alt-S in when I'm like animating. Okay, so there is just the shadows. That is actually pretty cool as well. So not exactly as AO, but I think that I use this one for Spec 17, yeah. Oh, this is slightly misaligned, but you know, for the first test, let's keep it like this. Cool. Okay, so we got the car. Let's try it in game. And then we're gonna add details later. The important thing is that the shape is sort of okay. Okay, so what we should do now is we have the shadow, right? And we're gonna do a, how do I do the reload? No, preview texture. It should use it. It should use shadow. Whoops. Yeah, because I didn't save it. Shadow, but it should be just body. Except I created the body one. And I shouldn't... Yeah, let's actually kill this one. Can I kill it? Unlink data. Is it gonna be killed? Tsubasa body doesn't say that it's dead. So I'm a bit worried. Okay, let me actually reload and see if it has disappeared. Okay, it does say it's 0, so it's not being used anywhere. So let's just save this, and I'm gonna revert. Okay, let's see. Is it gone? Tsubasa body shadow. Yes, it is gone. Cool. Okay. And now I can just take the Tsubasa body and add it. There it is. Tsubasa body. Let's just set it here. Oh, where is it? Tsubasa body shadow. No! I want the... Why is it called shadow? It should be just called body. There it is. And why is it not previewing? I don't exactly know. Because it should be that one. Where did it go? Yeah, I don't know why. Oh, wait a minute. It does actually work. It's just completely white. Something wrong with that. Okay, so... Can I render into this? I don't know. Let's do another bake. Maybe the sun is too bright. But it looked really good in the first one. Yeah, I don't know what happened now. I can't get it to Tsubasa body and Tsubasa body shadow. Yeah, let's kill it. And let's rebake. It's taking a long time. Surprisingly. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's too hard. What is point base? I have no idea. Point base. Oh, paint base. Does it do anything? Preview texture. Okay, interesting. I don't understand what it is. But it looks cool. It looks cool, actually, you know? I don't know what it is, but it feels good. Yeah, let's actually remove this. Let's try AO after all. Let's just do an AO classic. And then we can finally export. And by the way, I do say model the car, model a simple wheel. Well, let's not model a simple wheel, but steal the wheel from spec 17. So we have stolen the wheel. And then we're gonna export as GLTF. Okay, so there we go. We have the AO. You know, I'm gonna save this AO as Tsubasa body, and there it is. So I'm just gonna say Texture preview cleanup. Yeah, but why is it not this one? Tsubasa body. Okay, I have to reload. Okay, there it is. We finally have something. You can see that, you can see a little bit of shading. I think it's enough. I think it's enough for today. Yeah, let's try this. So, one more important thing that we need is, of course, we need the collision hull. Let's not forget the collision hull. And for that, I'm actually gonna remove, I made a copy of the object. I'm gonna remove these things. Okay. And I'm gonna kill the vertices, right? So that nothing sticks out. And I'm also going to kill the rear mirrors. And rename this to Tsubasa hull. So what is the hull? The hull is the collision proxy. So that is what you're actually going to hit. When you hit a wall, that's actually what's going to be detected. But the thing is that this thing needs, the hull needs to be convex. So how do you make a convex thing? Well, first off, we need to apply this mirror. I'm going to apply the mirror, and it does need to be convex, which means that I'm going to take everything and I'm just going to go to mesh and create a convex hull. Boom. And this is how you get this messy dazzle camouflage mesh, right? So this is now we're absolutely sure that this is convex and that this covers the whole car. And when I get it back to the base, this is what happens. Oh, and you know what? We have forgotten one more thing, and that is the center of mass, which is another good thing, important thing. So I'm going to move the origin a bit to the inside of the car. Let's do it approximately here. Yeah, and the thing is that my hull, okay, let's make cursor to selected. There it is. And now I'm gonna select the body, and I'm gonna say pivot to, there should be a pivot, 3D cursor, pivot point to 3D cursor, right? Nope, that didn't work. Origin to 3D cursor. There it is. Yes, so the pivot has been now set. And the origin itself is actually in my game the center of mass. So make sure that body and hull has the same origin. Tsubasa wheel is there, the hull and the body. That is basically the base that we need to render the car. So let's, I'm also going to, I saved actually the Tsubasa body. Okay, that's good. I'm going to save this, and let's select export. You should go to File, Export GLTF, and there we have vehicles, and I'm going to make a new car. I'm going to make I'm going to go to N-Engine. No, wait, where is my... Okay, here's the spec 17, right? But we are going to go to... I actually need... I'm actually gonna go into the mods folder, but the mods folder is basically what the resources folder is in the normal game. And in the mods folder, I'm gonna create a new folder, and I'm gonna call it Tsubasa. Okay. So there it is. We have officially created a new car, and in here, I'm gonna drop a GLB. I'm actually gonna use this preset. I'm gonna drop the GLB, and I'm gonna call it just Tsubasa. And what you need to make sure is that you, well, in my case, I'm gonna only export a selected object, and the data needs to have needs to apply the modifiers, needs to export UVs. You don't need to export normals. You can, but they're gonna be not gonna be used. You're just bloating the file. And we need to export vertex colors and attributes because that is what maps need to have, but the cars don't need to have. But I still keep it open for interpretation. and then you hit export GLB, and here we go. We should have exported with the textures as well. Okay, so I go now into where I have them installed, which is not release, but in the mods folder, there it is, cars. And I'm gonna just copy one of these. Well, Tsubasa. Let's actually take the spec 17 because that's the base mod, right? That everybody knows and loves. So it's actually in here in the res spec 17. I'm gonna copy. What I'm gonna copy is the spec 17 car, and I'm gonna drop it inside where are my mods? Cars. I'm gonna drop it inside Tsubasa, and I'm gonna rename it to Tsubasa, and make sure to call it Tsubasa car ini, and then I'm gonna open it in your favorite text editor and edit some of the things. For example, the model name is called Tsubasa.glb. The wheel object is actually, what is the name of it? It's actually Tsubasa wheel gravel. It's that one. And I will keep everything the same until I see it in the game. And then you can actually override basically everything in the game. So let's start the game. Before starting, we need to make sure that my custom bat file is going to use this. So I'm going to use the dev, and let's actually load Finland. And I'm going to copy one of the Finlands, for example, this one, Delta Finland. And I'm going to call this... Oh, again, the microphone drop. Sorry about that. I'm going to call this Tsubasa Finland. And the only reason I have bat files is because right now I'm not loading cars and maps from within the game. So I need to do this trick where I basically call these arguments. So I point the resources folder. I need to point it into the CFG. I need to set the car and the map. So basically, in this car, instead of the Delta HF, I'm gonna provide a Tsubasa, and of course, it resides in the Tsubasa folder. Okay, there it is. So let's see if it even runs. double click and let's look if it throws any errors or not. Okay, it did crash. It did crash, which is a good sign. Okay, so when it crashes, right? So I'm thinking, what did I forget? Did I forget something? It is quite possible I forgot something. Okay, if it crashes, double click on the log and let's see and look for errors. There it is. It says failed building texture, buffer is null. Oh no, this is irrelevant actually. This is relevant. This is just the loading screen. The splash screen. It's if it doesn't load, that's fine. Okay, let's continue going through infos. And great, we don't have any errors. Okay, this is terrible. This is terrible. Because this should not happen. This should not happen. Great. Look at that. It just failed. While it was writing, it just failed. Tsubasa body. Loaded texture from... Why is there two loads? Why is there two loads? Tsubasa. This should all use the same model. Why is it loading the same texture twice? Interesting. It does exist, right? Yeah, it does exist since it loaded. These slashes are like, some of them are forward and some of them backwards, but that doesn't matter. C++ file system works quite well with both. Yeah. What the hell? What the hell? So what did I forget? Did I forget something? Tsubasa GLB. Anything else? Engine high, gear squeak. I definitely have the hull, so that's not the problem. That if I'm missing the hull, I should actually if I'm missing the hull, it should actually error. Okay, so unplanned debugging, but I'm gonna do some debugging right now. Okay, I have to do debugging because I'm actually interested in what is going on here. Unplanned. I hate this. Everything should have worked. Okay, so I'm gonna run this in a... Yeah, I have to run a debug build. Wait, maybe I can actually start with a debug. Will that work? No, well, I need to see the code as well. So I'm gonna have to do this. Okay, so how do I make sure? Oh no, they're adding Copilot to Visual Studio as well. Yeah, I need to set this in... I need to set these parameters in the debug mode, which actually starts from here. So the config, yeah, okay, it's this one actually. Car mods cars Tsubasa. Okay, hopefully this works. Let's try it. Okay, so let's see what happens. And I think I am running in debug mode. Config entry. Is it loading Tsubasa? I didn't see. Boom! Okay, so something has happened. Vector subscript out of range. Interesting. Okay, let's see what happened. Let's see who calls it. Verify. Car transparent draw queue. Oh my god. Oh. I'm picking the first transparent car object. And you know what? My car doesn't have transparent objects. Yeah. So what? Yeah. So I need to kill this. Okay, let's do some quick hot fixing here. So what I need to do, transparent. Is this happening in a loop? This is the loop, right? Camera is intro. Simulate intro camera. Yeah. This is all happening every frame. Car transparent draw queue. Yeah, what if I simply say if transparent cargo putters dot size is more than 0, and then just do this. Is there anywhere else that I am mentioning transparent draw queue? Transparent draw queue. Yeah, there it is. So I need to make sure that this doesn't happen. If car transparent size is more than 0. Do I actually have a check here? I don't. But it does go through each of the for loops. It does, yeah. Issue and draw calls. Yeah, I can just skip it completely. I think this should be it. Yeah, I didn't actually test any without Windows. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. There it is. It works. And look at that. We have our Tsubasa. Okay, well, here's the thing. As you can see, the suspension is completely wrong. And does it actually work? Does it collide? Yes, it does. It's pretty cool. Okay. So, it does actually look way more high poly than it is, I have to say. Okay, so now that we have the car loaded, what we can do is you press the tilde key, right? And since we copied spec 17, we need to modify the properties of the car. And you can press tilde, and you can find the drive window, and go into car parameters. And in car parameters, you can change anything you want. So, for example, the wheelbase, we can change it. We can say, well, the wheelbase is slightly different. It's not too different, but slightly. Like here. And then the wheel track, that is definitely a lot smaller. And then we can, okay. So another thing is that when you're editing suspension stuff, press F1, because then what it does is that it brings up this debug, these debug lines for the suspension. And so when you actually change the suspension, you can see where everything happens. And yeah, when you basically, I need to move the raycast a bit so that I make sure that it raycasts from inside the car. And another thing that I want to do is ride height. No, ride height is okay. Wheelbase, yeah, let's actually increase the wheelbase slightly. That's pretty cool. And then we also have the maximum extension. When we drop the car using F, you can see that this is way too high. So yeah, I need to put the raycast distance to something less, and ride height, I can't remember now. Should ride height be ride height shouldn't be bigger than the raycast distance. That is the only issue. But everything else is permitted. But it's best to keep the raycast distance and ride height at the same, because then you don't have the sticking problems, which you have when raycast distance is a lot longer. But this is all things that needs to be fixed in the handling update. Okay, so we have something we can turn off, and there we go. We have the car. We have the gravel setup, sort of. Well, the suspension is a little bit too bouncy. So is the raycast distance the same? Yes, it is. Yeah, so it's way too bouncy. Oh, and one more thing that is important is that you can see that the wheels are actually going through the body. Okay, well, one thing is that I want to reduce it slightly, the wheel track, so it doesn't go inside. And the other thing is that you need to adjust the max height property. So max height is basically how much graphically can the wheel enter the wheel well. So yeah, I think this is kind of it. Yeah, as you can see, so why is this important? Well, if you can look here, is you can see how these front wheels, they're completely compressed in this picture, and they're basically like penetrating the wheel well, right? They're all the way inside. And this is what you kind of want to simulate, but you don't want to make the wheels pop too far in, like through the front hood. So yeah, that is something that you have control of as well, to like put it as you wish. But there it is. We have the car, handles nicely. It's a little bit yeah, there's something wrong with the suspension. I think it's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit too bouncy. Maybe it's too stiff. I think it is. I think... I think the suspension might be slightly on the stiffer side. Yeah, look at that bounce. Amazing. But there we go. We can already slide around and drive it. So that's cool. Nice. Okay. So yeah. What now remains is to add details, add some textures. And yeah, this antenna looks terrible. Yeah, so I am going to continue doing that tomorrow or in 2 days or something like that. So yeah, that is basically the end of this stream. I can try it. I can just try driving on something else. Oh yeah, one more thing. The most important thing actually that I didn't mention is that after you have done setting all your parameters, the most important thing is that you can save this, save your parameters. And you can do that by going to File and you say Save Car Params. And there it is. And it should have now saved. You can also see it. You should at least see it here. Maybe I didn't add it into the speed log. Okay, but yes, it should work. So now, when you relaunch the game, I need to relaunch from within the debug context. You will be able to see that there it is, that everything works, that everything is as we have set up. Cool. Nice. Okay, yeah, I think that suspension needs to be a lot weaker, and probably damping as well. Or maybe it should be higher. Something like that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like it. It does feel different than Spec 17. And the reason for that is that the inertia is completely different, right? Because this is such a small car lengthwise, right? It rolls a lot easier than the Spec 17 car, than the modern cars. But lengthwise, right, there's more inertia because it's not a hatchback like every car today, every rally car today. So yeah, you can definitely feel the difference. And it's not just the graphical. So yeah, there we go. What did I want to try? I forgot. Yeah, I should also do a I should also create a release version. And then, but I think I need to rebuild the whole engine. Well, yeah, this is actually a perfect opportunity to see how long it's gonna take to make a release version from scratch. So maybe I should do that. Okay, let me actually save this and yeah. So let's see. Let's see how long it's gonna take. Starting now. Yep, it is creating the precompiled headers, as you can see. Building the application, the asset manager, and everything. I might go and yeah, I'm gonna go brush my teeth while I'm waiting. Prepare for sleep. My gosh, you have no idea how hot it is in the other rooms. Okay, the game is building. There we go. So, that's the entire rebuild of the engine and the game. So you just witnessed how slow or how fast it is, depending on who you ask. If you ask anybody from like indie community, they would say, "Oh my God, it's so slow." If you ask anybody from AAA, they're gonna say, "Wow, it's so quick." So yeah, there we go. We have our little Tsubasa here. Yeah, let's try it somewhere else on a different place. Let's try it in Finland. And I have to go back to dev and try it in where is it? It's Tsubasa, Finland. There it is. There we go. It works now. For some reason the sound doesn't work. Oh, it doesn't work because... Yeah. I know why it doesn't work. It doesn't work because the audio, the reverb has completely killed it. Oh my god! I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. That was a horror. Okay, let's see if it's gonna be horror again. Okay, it's not, but it doesn't work. Yeah, so reverb becomes extreme at a very long distance. That's the problem. That's the problem. I need to kill the reverb when I change cameras. There it is. Okay, it worked. Fourth time is the charm, as they say. Cool. Okay, let me just reduce the audio a bit so I can hear myself. But there we go. We have the first official Tsubasa model in game. As you can see, it's super easy to import. The problem now is just detailing and making the texture, and yeah, that's gonna be fun. Oh, and of course the interior. I do want to add the interior as well. Maybe the first version is gonna be super crude, like, yeah, just like super just like a black dash and seats and everything. But I definitely should have some interior that you can see through. Oh no. Some interior that you can see through. I mean, through the windows. Maybe even add some fake drivers inside or something. That is something that a lot of people actually requested. That I should add fake people into goddamn into the Spec 17 car. Well, that was the worst corner ever taken. But yeah, okay. Well, there we go. My god, it takes forever to drive on grass. I definitely want to need to improve that as well. You know, this car actually reminds me of the Taxi a bit, from the Taxi franchise, because it's so white and the shape is sort of like the Peugeot in that movie. Oh my god, I'm so terrible. Let's try one more time. And then that's it. I'll go sleep. So yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope somebody is here. At least. And there we go. We got a new car in game. It's completely white. And definitely going to add the details and work on the textures next. Yeah, it's actually, the handling of this car is completely different, man, from Spec 17. It's the inertia, the balance is just completely off. It's actually really interesting how much it influences the car behavior. Yeah, it's really hard to control actually. Maybe it's the soft suspension or something. I'm not sure exactly what causes it. But yeah, anyway. Yeah. Before I drive the whole track, should say thanks for watching again. And join me next time. If it's not tomorrow, if it's definitely day after tomorrow. Oh my god, the suspension is so deadly. Yeah. See you around. Nice. Nice car. Yeah. Not that nice to drive, but nice car. Suspension definitely sucks. It's so bouncy. There we go. Just 50 seconds. 51 seconds slower than the record. See you around for the next time. Bye.